jumped out of the wall. They jumped on my bed and jumped through the other wall and kept doing it. My hair extended in the air and somebody was pulling my hair. He did witchcraft on me, child, okay? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Sierra. For those who are new, if this is your first time stopping by, make sure you click like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload new content, make sure you leave me a comment, and make sure you share this video with your friends. So today, I wanted to come and talk about relationships. You know, relationships are something really serious to God. He doesn't take relationships lightly. You know, he didn't just grab onto people and let them cleave to himself and be like, you know, we ride or die. Like, no, it didn't happen like that. People had to show and prove that they were worthy of the relationship that they wanted to have with the Father, you know. He had an intimate relationship with Moses face to face. He called Abraham a friend of God. You know, they had to do some things. It wasn't just 1, 2, 3 and they was rocking with God and it was like best friends. Like, it didn't work out like that. I am going to be sharing a time in my life where the Lord delivered me. I had a boyfriend who did witchcraft on me, particularly voodoo in particular. This is a lot of hard because I never thought I was ever going to really talk about this. And I don't want to talk about it at all. I'm gonna try to make it short, simple, and sweet, but I think it's something that people do need to hear because it's a reality in relationships. It's crazy because people think that witchcraft is a joke. They think voodoo is a joke. It's not a joke. It's very real. Those are very real powers. And if you don't have the power of God, you don't have the power of the Holy Ghost to defend you, you know, and to save you from those things will overpower you. Those things will kill you. Those things will destroy you. They're demon powers. So coming from the background that I come from, that, you know, voodoo and witchcraft is not new to me. I have a father who is from the Caribbean. He was Haitian, and also my mom is mixed, but in our family people do witchcraft as well. So it was nothing new to me. So I got myself into everything that I could get myself into at this time of trying to get to know the Lord. If there was Bible study to be had at the church I was going to, I was there. If they was traveling somewhere, I was there. If they was having revival, if they was cleaning the church, if they was fanning the church, I was there. I was really trying in my best efforts of what I knew to be pure, to be holy. But, you know, it's not us who keep ourselves, for it's not by power or by might, but it's by the Spirit of the Lord that's within us that keeps us. But at that time, I'm thinking, you know, you be good, you're good. You know what I mean? I was still hanging out with the wrong people. My then best friend was not saved. And so I was still running and hanging with her at the time. I wasn't going to just drop her because, you know, she wasn't in God, but I was just trying to do my own thing, you know. But everybody doesn't receive your transition well. And so she wasn't receiving my transition well. Like, oh, yo, come and hang out or whatever. Come to this party. I'm throwing this barbecue, such and such, and yada, yada. One day we were hanging out and she was going to go pick up her check from her job. And she had met somebody at the job and she was dating them. So I don't know how it came up or how it came about, but my name wound up coming up and she wound up, I guess, maybe either showing my picture to one of the guy's friends that she was dating. And so, you know how it goes from there. He's like, yo, what's good with your friend? And so, you know, she had come back and tell me that, and I really wasn't trying to hear that because I was really still stuck on that I had to break it off with the love of my life at the time, my now husband, you know. So that was still in my mind. It was still fresh because it was like only it was only at that time like 6 months after that had happened. So I was still fresh. I was still fresh when we dedicated myself back to God. I was still hanging out, you know, doing things. I had stopped at the time drinking. I had stopped at the time doing a lot of things. And so I was really trying to do what I knew what to do was right. But the devil had other plans for me, and he was trying to set me up. And he set me up real good. But God, we roll up to her job. She was going to pick up her check, and the guy that she was talking to which they worked together, was actually there in the parking lot. But so was the guy and some of his other friends that was checking for me. I didn't get out the car because I really was not trying to be in a relationship with nobody. She comes back and she's like,
okay, yeah, so, you know, we're gonna be doing a triple date.
Like what?
We're gonna be doing a triple date on Saturday, because I don't wanna go alone.
You know, this is her first time going on a date with this guy. She didn't wanna go alone. So we're just gonna call him D, okay? So D was checking for me, and so, all right. I was really nervous. I never did a blind date before. That wasn't my stilo. I'm very old fashioned. I like to meet people in person. Like, you know, that was weird for me. So people trying to set me up with people, I'm like, I'm not used to that. And I really didn't want to do it. But then I didn't want my best friend going on this date alone when she was asking me to be doing like best friend activities. You know how it goes, guys. So Saturday comes. I'm super nervous. We roll up to the restaurant and there he is. And he's tall. He was like 6'3", 6'4". He's buff. I mean, he's like everything that my lustful self at the time loved. So as the night went forward, it was even better. You know, he had a great attitude. He was funny. You know, he was charismatic. You know, there were some things I did not like, and I'm not going to mention that. The good that I was seeing with my natural eye was greater than the things that I did not like. I was there for quite a bit and I was enjoying myself. One of the things was he was funny, and that's what hooked me. And let me tell you something, ladies, the devil knows what you like. He's going to send what you like. You know, he's not going to send something that you don't like. He's studied you since you was born. He knows what you like. He knows what you don't like. Afterward, you know, they wanted to leave, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm leaving to go home. Like, this is done, thank God. And because I really wasn't looking for anything after this. And so, you know, he was like, you know, we're going to kick it and hang out afterward. Do you want to come? So my best friend, she's giving me the eye, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I'm coming. That devil knows what you like. He's going to send somebody that you like. And that's why it's so important for you to ask God, is this the person that you have for me? And so everybody that's coming and smiling is not coming for the right agenda. Everybody that's coming and smiling is not coming because they like you. Sometimes it's for a different agenda. Sometimes those people are into and do different things you have no understanding about. But you thinking, oh, he's cute, so he's something to do. But yeah, he's not only going to do you, but he's going to do you too. And so moving forward, so we go and we hang out. At that time, I kept purposing that I was not going to drink. I was not going to fornicate. I wasn't going to do any of these things.
Straight up, listen, this is what I'm into. This is what I do. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. If that's what you're looking for, I am not the girl for you. And he was
like, no, I actually like that. You know, I've been actually looking for somebody, you know, who's doing something different. You know, I like that. I feel like that's progressive.
So, you know, I was like, okay.
He's different.
Time progressed, and then we wind up getting into a relationship. So the relationship was good in the beginning. We got along really well. We were more like friends than boyfriend and girlfriend, but slowly but surely I started doing the old things that I used to do. Before, I was totally, you know, consumed, becoming a Jesus fanatic, but, you know, reading my word, making sure I'm at church or whatever, and I started falling off. I started, you know, not reading my word as much as I used to, not praying as much as I used to, not being concerned or focused on the things of God. It was a lust of the eyes and a lust of the flesh and the pride of life that were creeping in. You know, he was something good to look at. He was something good to do for the time being, and that's what I was doing. I was just going along for the ride. So first red flag, started to see other people that he used to hang out with, and these people were not people who were people of integrity and who were people that you would trust to even turn your head away from them. Like, you know, he was selling drugs and he was doing illegal stuff, and, you know, I really didn't like that, though I had had relationships before where guys were doing that And, you know, I vowed that I would not get in a relationship again with someone who was doing those things. But yet again, I found myself in a relationship with him. But, oh, I liked him. He's funny. He's nice. We have great conversation. He feels like we're going somewhere, even though I didn't feel the same. So it started even getting more serious where, you know, things of talk of marriage. He wanted me to move out of state with where his mother was living, and that was in the South. And, you know, he had plans, like, and I like that, you know, he was somebody that had some form of plan. I guess I liked the thought of that, even though I wasn't in love with him or anything like that. That was the first red flag with the way he was living his life, seeing that he was selling drugs and all types of illegal stuff. Second flag was that we were having a conversation a couple of times, and he was saying how, you know, he really didn't trust people, and he was very paranoid. He had just randomly said to me, he was like, I want to tell you something, you know, if you ever cheated on me, you know, I would know. I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, you know, my stepmom and my sister, you know, they do voodoo, and so, you know, they would see you. I just want to let you know that. And so I just thought it was like the illest thing. So witchcraft wasn't new to me, but it was just random, like who just says that they're gonna do voodoo on you so they will know if you're cheating. Like usually with people do voodoo on you, like they're not gonna tell you, but you know, I guess he was a bold demon. He wanted to tell me. Like I had told you, I told the Lord that I wasn't gonna fornicate, and so it wound up coming to a time where I wind up sleeping with him. After that happened, it was like the umbrella was ripped off from over me. Like my covering was done. Like the way I felt inside, the way I felt was totally different of me being alone with the Father, you know? So I knew that God was not pleased with me at that point, but I really liked this guy, and I really wanted to see where this relationship was going. So to me, at the time, that relationship was more important to me than God, like most people. I began to see so many other things. You know, he became verbally abusive. He was always, you know, trying to beat down my self-esteem. Like, oh, why you wear your hair like that? You know, like I've been a person who, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I've always been somebody who cleans up well, who always like to keep myself together. So, oh, why don't wear your jeans? I don't want people seeing your butt. And, you know, he would just like come to my job, show up at my job, you know, watch me. You know, he would send people to watch me. He would just show up at my house unannounced and start beeping the horn all crazy outside, like stuff like that. Like, you know, it was really weird to me. And so moving forward, it came to a point where I couldn't take anymore. He kept doing mind manipulation games with me, and it was gonna come to a point where we were gonna be fighting, because that's the type of female that I was. Like, I didn't just let no dude say and do any kind of things to me, and then, you know, you think you about to get away with it. Like, I don't care if you're 6'4", like I'm 5'7", me and 5'7" and 6'4", we can get it going. Like, let's get it cracking. Like, that was my mindset. Like, I'm gonna fight you. If you're a man, you're a woman, you're whatever you are, we're fighting, because you're not about to keep coming out your mouth to me like that. It was like he became more and more paranoid, and then he began to verbally abuse me more. And then, like, I knew it was coming to that point, like I said, where it was going to be a physical thing, because there was a couple of times where there was like physical things that had happened with him, and I was like, you know what, I just can't take this anymore. And so it was like and then plus he was like seeing, you know, I found out other things, like he was seeing other people who was working where I was working. It was like a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I got to the point where it was too much, and I said, you know, this is over. And so he wasn't trying to hear that. He didn't like that. You know, he had plans. You know, we had talked about moving down south. We had talked about getting married. We had talked about stuff, and to me, it was like we just talked about it, but you know, he was adamant, he was serious about it, like this was his plan, and I wasn't gonna mess up his plan. I was gonna be a part of the plan, you know. I'm like, okay, we're done. And it was like one last time I had came to him, and I was, you know, I hadn't seen him in a couple of days, and I was like, oh, hey, you know, what's up? And he literally stood in front of me, like, as I looked up at him, and he acted like I wasn't even there. He looked left, he looked right, and he had his hand in his pocket and whatever. And it was like, it did something to me, because I had already had a soul tie. You know, when you sleep with people, you form a soul tie. You become like married to them in the spirit. And so I had a soul tie with him at this point. And so anything he did or said, it was like, it just directly affected me. And manipulation in the mind games, like I knew what he was doing. It was trying to keep me, manipulate me, keep my mind. And I just left. And from that day, he kept calling me. I yelled. I was like, yo, we're done. Don't call me no more. And I banged on him like, yo, it's over. He didn't like that. My now husband had been getting into contact with me at that time. And, you know, it was just friendly exchange, like, how are you? How is your week? You know, how are things going? How's the family? You know, communication like that. And it was nice. And so, you know, my now husband kept saying that he wanted to take me on a date. And, you know, I told him, I was like, I'm kind of still in a relationship with somebody and I really don't want to do that. I had it with this one in my mind. I was done with him. And so I said, you know, okay, it's cool. You know, we could go on a date, but that's it. Like, I don't expect anything. We went on a date. It was really good. We had a great time. It moved on to the next week. And I wind up running into D.
And he's like, you know, I've been calling you, what's going on? I want to let you know that my sister saw you.
Okay, she saw me.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed that lunch that you had at Chili's, you know what I mean?
So, to me, you know, I'm lying. I'm like, what you talking about?
Yeah, you went to Chili's, didn't you? You went on a date.
Now, when I was at the restaurant, for some reason, I felt like somebody was following me. But it wasn't until years later the Lord actually revealed that it wasn't that they were physically following me, that they were viewing me and paying attention to me spiritually. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, please listen to what I'm saying. People can monitor you. There's people who can monitor you. They do all types of stuff in witchcraft. Witchcraft is not exclusive to one thing. You opening up a book of spells and saying spells are stirring a pot. Like, people astral project. People can astral project into your house when you're home, when you're not home, while you're asleep. People can project themselves spiritually into your dreams. And you know what? That's a whole nother video, but I wanted to let you know this man was doing witchcraft on me. He had told me. He had told me.
Yeah, she saw you. She saw you.
So I was like, you know what? It doesn't even matter. We're not in a relationship no more. Like,
it was broad daylight one day. It was probably like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was still living at my mom's house and I was laying in my room, getting ready to lay down into a nap. And as I laid there to go and close my eyes, somebody was pulling my hair. Yes, somebody was pulling my hair. And when I turned, I could not see them, but they was pulling it, trying to rip my hair out my head. At the time, my hair was really long. And so my bed then began to shake. My bed began to move up and down, but nobody was there. Like, my mom was in the other room and I was awake. Like, I was awake during like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, I'm looking at you. Totally sound, same frame of mind. I have never had any mental issues. Like, please, let me tell you, it's true. And so after my hair was being pulled, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? And so my bed is moving, like people are jumping on my bed. My hair is being pulled, so my neck is going like this. As sure as I look in front of me, oh my Lord, I saw them with my eyes, y'all. Like outline figures, like they were see-through, but I could tell they were children because they were laughing. They were laughing and they jumped out of the wall. They jumped on my bed and jumped through the other wall and kept doing it. Yo, I was so terrified. Like, that was the most terrifying experience. Like, I'm not chilled by it now when I talk about it, but it's unreal. It's crazy. Like, yo, this really happened to me. And I yelled for my mom to come in, and my mom is a prayer warrior. She, you know, she had been a Christian since I was about 7 or 8 years old. She had accepted Christ, but at this time and stage that she was at, she was a prayer warrior. Like, you know, the Holy Ghost used her big time, and I thank God for her because she's the one that God used to pray for me. You know, I ran in and I'm like, yo, Mom, oh my God, this is what's happening. Something's pulling my hair. Yo, I was like bugging. Like, I was taking like, yo, like I was taking. She came in and we held hands and she began to bind the spirit that was attacking me, and she began to bind and loose and cast out. And then it was like you could completely feel like the air in the room was just peace. And from that day on, that never happened to me again. And so I was being demonically attacked. And so that's what happens when you connect yourself spiritually with people who are into the occult, who are into witchcraft things. Like, your spirit is connected with their spirit. Whatever's chasing them starts chasing you. And so I was being demonically attacked in broad daylight, and I had never, ever, I was a sinner, and I was doing every kind of sin under the book, and I had never been demonically attacked like that. Never. Never experienced that in my life. And so as I moved on from that relationship, I know that they had done something in the spirit. So later on, fast forward to 3 years from now, I'm already married. I already have my children, but I knew spiritually something had been done to me. I had went through a lot of things. There was a lot of things that had attacked me in different areas of my life. And prophetically, it wound up coming out that someone that I dated did witchcraft on me. So what's crazy is at the time I'm receiving deliverance. Anyone who's familiar with deliverance, if you're not, let me know in the comments. I don't mind doing a video about deliverance. There's so many types of videos on the YouTube about deliverance. So, educate yourself if you don't know. But I was going through deliverance. I was connecting with a ministry, and it was about probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. And they was doing an all-nighter, but I was there because I knew that God needed to break some things in my life. At that moment, that was what I was being ministered to personally about, was that there was some type of witchcraft done, that there was a soul tie between me and this person, and God wanted to break that, to break the witchcraft that had been done to me. As I began to, demons come out in many ways. They can manifest by liquid, by air. Everybody who's delivered, they don't manifest the same way. Everybody's not all over the place, but some people are. By the way, the spirit was coming out of me was through liquid, and so, which was my spit. And so things began to come up. And I remember looking at the time. It was like 2 o'clock on the dot. So it was 2 days later, and I had got an inbox from a cousin of mine that knew the person that I used to date at the time. My cousin had inboxed me a full-blown article of a drug bust raid that had taken place where my then ex had relocated, D. And in the article, it stated that he had died by way of shooting at 2 a.m. the same day I received deliverance. For those who don't understand, is when in witchcraft, when you do things to people, anyone who does voodoo even knows that backfires. During that time of me learning how to pray fiery prayers, how to war in the spirit, those things upon deliverance were being sent back to the sender. They were being sent back to where they had come. They were being broken. They had to go back to where it had come from. So it went back to where it had come from, to the sender. I was receiving deliverance. It was like a Saturday, and it was Saturday at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. was the same exact time the person who had did witchcraft on me, it was receiving back their arrows. It's unfortunate they did lose their life, and I was very saddened because I don't desire for anybody to die and to perish. And I've had people say to me like, oh, when I die, I'll deal with God then. Like, no, he'll deal with you. Like, you put yourself into hell. You're put there. He doesn't put us there. You put yourself there. He gives you a standard on how to live a life that would be pleasing to him, that he desires for you, so that you will be able to be with him in eternity. He asks you to come, and you choose to do your own thing. And so you send yourself there because that's the standard to be where he's at. That's like getting into the club. Like if you're standing on the line and they say you need an ID that says you're 21 years old, you can't come with a library card. And when they told you a New York State ID is needed for you to get in the club. So unfortunately, they wind up losing their life. I was very saddened because I know the way that the way that they had went out. That's my testimony on how I was demonically harassed by demons by my boyfriend at the time who had did witchcraft on me. It's very real, guys. I just want to tell you, I really don't care who doesn't believe what I'm saying. This is what happened. There's some details and certain things about that relationship, about what happened to me personally, even after that, I'd rather not go into. I don't have the time to, but that's the shortest version that I could give. And I just want to say, ladies, men, please seek God for those, if you are in the Lord, you know. And I even feel sorry for those who don't have a relationship with God. You know, we kind of just, when I was in the world, I just picked who I like or who I thought through qualities that would suit me. But there's people who have the qualities that you like. The enemy's going to send somebody to trip you up. You know, he's going to send what you like, what looks good. And it was to my demise. Like, this person was trying to kill me. This person was trying to torment me. If anybody else has experienced anything similar, please let me know. If you want me to make a video about altars, if you want me to make a video about deliverance, if you want me to make a video about demons, spirits, familiar spirits, ancient spirits, witchcraft spirits, please let me know. I would love to share the knowledge and wisdom that God has given me to help me in the ways in which to pray through spiritual warfare, how to combat those things. You know what I mean? Bye.